And what is up, beautiful people? You know who it is. It is me, your board certified everything on the podcast, brother. Listen. First of all, I'm with my partner right now, the original Lebron hater.
Are you done muting me?
So we're starting already.
What's up, beautiful people? You're making me mad right now.
Okay, first of all,
I just want to know why you don't want to give the man his credit. I don't understand.
Hold on a second. Let's talk about Matt for a second. First of all, you walked in the door with an attitude today, my friend.
No, it's no attitude. It's just I'm tired of your ish.
Okay, wow.
I'm trying to explain something to you, and you have your preconceived ideas, and you don't allow any new information to come into what you're. I'm fine with us disagreeing, but the problem is that your disagreement is predetermined and predisposed and preconceived. So when you get new info, you should be able to accept that information and say, okay, you know what? I didn't really see it that way, but I do understand what you're saying, and I will allow that to sit in my subconscious for a couple seconds.
So to get everybody caught up, we are talking about...
No, you don't have to tell them what we're talking about. Just explain to me how Al Pacino's performance in Scarface, which was a classic, legendary performance...
You're about to bring up a comparison, and I didn't compare anything.
No. What do you mean? Why are you backing up now? I don't understand. We was talking that you made. So now you done got me mad, and now that we on camera, and now that we on the microphone, you don't want to continue with your position.
Can I make my point before you?
No. I ain't talking about making a point. I mean, I'm just asking you a question.
You're loud, man.
I'm just asking you a question. I'm not loud.
No,
you're just mad because you're just mad. That's why you gave me the unsure microphone, and at the same time you're trying to mute me. You know what I'm saying? Why are you always trying to mute a brother?
First of all, why are you sitting here calling brand names out? Number one, forget about your brand names, all right? Just drink coffee.
Nobody knows what that meant. Only you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, let me explain to you this way. First of all, you walked in the door with an attitude today. That's a fact.
Just explain to me what Alonzo did in Training Day. I want to know how that's not legendary. That's all I want to know.
First of all, nobody said it was legendary. All I said it was a 7. And the reason why I said
okay, so I'm sorry. Is a 7 on 10? If somebody gets a 7 on 10,
that's a very high
number.
Is
that good?
Yes.
So okay, so if I was going to introduce you to my cousin and I said she was a 7, would that make you excited, or would that make you lukewarm, or would that make you even not want to go?
You're asking me though.
No, I'm asking you a question. Be honest with you. Be honest. Like AB said. No, let's not be honest. Let's be real. Let's be real.
I'm not a good one to judge character like that.
It's not about character. I'm asking you. So that's a 7. Okay, so let you be on the rest. Okay, so be on the record. And so you're saying Denzel Washington's performance in Training Day is a 7 on 10. So go ahead, state your case.
Wow.
That's what you said.
Okay, the reason why I give it a 7 on 10 is because the character itself, in my view, was a tad bit cliche. And
what does that have to do with the performance?
Okay, the performance for me was a 7. I mean, I've seen Denzel better.
State your case.
I've seen Denzel better.
We're not talking about if you've seen him better. We're asking you to state your case. Okay. By the way, he won the Oscar for that performance. I just want to know.
That was a gimme Oscar, and we all know that. We all know that year, Pacino should have won it for Scent of a Woman, and they gave him that Oscar because they didn't give it to him in Malcolm X. Bringing up
so Pacino, how many times did Pacino get robbed? He could have easily got paid then.
Facts.
So then that's not an argument.
I'm trying to make an argument.
No, but
I just made my point.
That don't make any sense.
I made my point. Pacino won his Oscar for what? Scent of a Woman? No, what did he win it for? No, he did win it for Scent of a Woman. Mm-hmm. The one that was the better performance that year was Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind, which was a brilliant performance. Not taking anything away from Denzel with that, but to me that was the performance.
But you still haven't stated your case.
But what is there for me to state?
You're saying it's a 7.
It's a 7.
State your case.
Because I found the character a big cliche.
What does the character have to do with the performance?
I found some of his performance. Listen, all I can say is his performance didn't resonate with me, B.
No, it's allowed to not. No, you're allowed to have an opinion. Right. You're also allowed to be wrong. So I would like to know what is your case.
Wow.
State your case. If you have a case, state it. What is the reason?
Well, you're telling me to give a reason for something that I don't have an objective view of. I felt that the character lacked certain issues with me. It lacked certain depths with me that it didn't lack with you. I felt certain
No, I'm going to state my case when it's my turn. But right now, so just focus on you and what you're saying. You're saying it's a 7. That's a strong statement.
First of all, slow down a second, man. You either got to stop talking to me like you're my therapist, or I'm a man, because something's going on right now.
No,
man.
listen,
Trying to beat me down a little bit. Trying to beat me down a
You
little bit.
you already got me down to a 1 on my microphone. Every time I'm trying to
What
talk,
are you
you mute me.
talking about? What are you
You mute
talking
me. I
about?
have to exert.
Wow.
I have to go into my theater training to exert my voice in this microphone. When in reality, I should be smoothly conversing my points. I'm still waiting for your explanation. That's all I want to know.
Okay, for me, I give Denzel's performance a 7 in Training Day because I felt.
Okay, when you're giving explanations.
Well, actually, can I finish?
Well,
my
no,
point?
I'm going to give you a little something first. When
So
you
you're
give
gonna
an
teach me how to
explanation,
answer? You're gonna teach me how to answer
Well,
it?
I'm going to give you a little. I'm going to give you a pointer.
You're gonna teach me to cook too?
When you say
Teach you how to wash clothes?
such and such,
Daddy?
such and such is a such and such performance, and here's why.
Denzel's performance in Training Day, while good, is not great to me. And the reasons why it's not great to me is I felt the performance lacked depth in certain areas. I felt he dialed it in on certain areas. I felt he dealt with certain things that black people are supposed to be. And I think, here's the thing. I think because Denzel had been the hero for most of his career, I think people were actually finally happy to see him play a villain. And I think people give more to that because of the fact that they've never seen him in that light. But as a villain goes, I felt he could have went depths deeper than he did in the character.
How?
Well, I felt he dialed it in. I felt there were moments where he could have.
I don't disagree with everything you're saying. I
Right.
just don't understand.
I just felt he could have been more ruthless in certain areas. I felt different parts of the performance. He scaled it back, like the moment with Snoop. And it's hard.
1, 2, 3, 4. Jimmy Crack Corn. Wow. You're federally F now. What did he do? What did he do? What could he have done?
Are you going to sit down and literally, objectively, like do the whole movie for us right now, man?
Well, we don't have to do the whole movie.
You sat here and recited 18 lines before you got here. Before we got on air.
I'm just saying. You said the scene with Snoop. I'm just trying to get my mind into the scene with Snoop.
Here.
When he found the crack, he goes, "You ain't got nothing, right? You ain't got nothing." And he took a pin and he went in his throat and he got it. So you tell me what should he, could he, and who could have done better in that moment?
I'm just saying, and I was going to give credit to both of them in that scene. That being one of Snoop's first performances, which was actually really good.
I don't even know if it was one of his first performances. I'm not sure, but okay, if you say so. Well, what first? What's that? What does that have to do with anything?
What I'm saying is, I think I don't know. It's hard for me to explain it. It just suffice to say, with my years of background in the industry, such as yourself, it was a 7 to me. It was a 7 to me. I want to give him an 8, but I can't give him an 8.
I still haven't heard why. So let me explain to you why I believe that your 7 is egregious.
Please do.
Okay, so here's the situation. First of all, the subtleties in the performance that might be unbeknownst to the regular people. I'm surprised that for this instance you're part of that group who basically you're just skimming right over the brilliance that was right before your eyes. I understand the point that you're making, that he was given the Oscar because they meaning the powers that be, were not expecting that kind of performance. They don't know that side, and so therefore they got all impressed with what he did. I agree with you 100% there. I have no problem agreeing with you.
Thank you.
But once you're done realizing that, yeah, we all know what Denzel could do. We're not surprised by what he could do, by what he did, by that character. But where the brilliance comes in is when he's feeding you something that you know he can do, but he's doing it in a manner that is still brilliant, and then at the same time the layers are still there. So what he did is he was able to satisfy the powers that be, that, oh, look at me, I'm doing something that you thought I couldn't do, which was to play the villain, which of course we knew he could do, no problem. But then at the same time, it was brilliant. Now, if you want to say degree of difficulty for Denzel, because of how I believe that we both have a similar view on where he stands all time.
Right.
So if you want to say degree of difficulty was not as high as others might have thought, right. I believe he himself even said that. I believe he himself said, "Yeah, I mean, I was just playing myself. I was just playing me."
And I see
so,
that.
So, and that's okay. That to say that is not an insult to me. What becomes disconcerting for me is when you act. You still, even if you give, you see, like in the Olympics, degree of difficulty counts. 100%. But if you nail the dive, if you nail the floor routine, you can only get penalized a certain amount. You can say, well, this under a higher degree of difficulty, this might have been a 10, but because this wasn't a degree of difficulty that I deem, you know what I'm saying, that's not where I would like it to be, I cannot give this a 10. But there's a difference between giving something a 10, which I still believe that was, and then for you to give it now a 7. If you had said it was an 8, 8.5, you were not so impressed, I would have been like, all right, cool, we disagree, but I understand your position. But you're giving it a 7.
Yeah, but
a 7 is barely a pass.
Hold on, but 7 is a pass. But
I said barely.
Listen, I think especially when it comes to us as black actors in the industry, there are certain things that audiences expect from us, even though it may not truly be in us. So if you want to look at genres of movies where black people play whatever that cliche character is, there are 10s out there. Samuel L. Jackson as Gator in Jungle Fever is a 10. To the point.
Yeah, as a supporting role.
As a supporting role, but not only that.
No, but you have to sustain it for a long period of time. So as a supporting role, yes.
Hold that B. I'm talking about one performance, because we were talking about performance.
It's a supporting role.
So as a performance.
A very small supporting role.
But what happened that year?
Teeny tiny.
What happened that
Itty
year?
bitty.
Hold up. What happened that year from that performance? Khan, in the film festival, invented a best supporting actor because they wanted him to be acknowledged for the role he did, because it stood out as brilliant.
Okay, you know what? Samuel Jackson, I like that. Samuel Jackson is pretty much the only other actor that I believe could have pulled off that role.
I got another one for you.
No, but hold on. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Do you agree that he would have pulled it off?
Yeah, Lonzo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the difference, because now we're going to go into the difference.
But let me give you one more.
Go ahead.
If you look at Fast Black, who was played by Morgan Freeman in Street Smart, who played a pimp, that was so convincing he was the pimp's pimp. And Morgan Freeman had never done a character like that up until that point.
No, because
his first Oscar nomination as well. That's a 10.
Hold up. This is what I love about you, but at the same time, majority of people that are listening they're not going to know. Because first of all, I have no idea what you just said. I don't know this movie. I know this actor, but when I know this actor in a certain way, and it ain't that way.
Right.
So a lot of people are not necessarily going to know that performance, and that don't mean they can't go, seek it out. You know what I mean? Analyze it for themselves.
Please do.
And that's great. That's called education. But at the same time, for the debate purposes, it doesn't help. Because why? Because the reference is so deep, right? And it's all the way in there that unless the person has an insane amount of knowledge about acting, and not just acting, it's specific performances that are not mainstream. I don't think people, because they don't know Morgan Freeman like that.
But let's just stop that. First of all, we're not debating. We're having a conversation. That's number one. Number two.
Every conversation is a debate.
Number two.
If it's a back and forth, it's a debate.
If I even answer
if it's a back and forth, it's a debate.
If I even answer that, it'll cause a debate.
And if you don't answer, it's still a debate. Cricket sounds. Black champagne.
Toast to you, my friend. Toast to you, my friend. So wow. Wow.
Okay, so hold up. Just so I understand correctly. Denzel Washington pulling up 2 guns, saying to the dude on the ground, saying, they got room for you at the booty house, right? You ain't got nothing on you? You got nothing on you?
Okay,
you got nothing?
Question, is that good writing or is that good acting?
That's great. It's great. It's fantastic acting, and it's very mediocre writing. And this is what I'm trying to explain to you about but that's a good question. That's why I want that question, because I want you to understand something that I believe you do understand, but I'm going to crystallize it for you in the sense of other actor would have read those words and brought that to the scene.
Well, yeah, and I'm not saying there's not a uniqueness.
But that's why it can't be a 7. As an acting performance of him performing what was there, him riding along in the car saying, I sound like, it ain't like I put a gun to your head. So it ain't like I put a gun to your head. I didn't smoke PCP, but you did. You know what I mean? So It's like, you did. Go ahead, brother. Protect and serve, brother. Go ahead.
So let's do it like this. I brought it up to make the original point where I said my example to that was Al Pacino is not Tony Montana. Tony Montana is a character, and people say Tony Montana. They don't, and I mean, to the point where people don't even associate Al Pacino with Tony Montana. And
I believe it's the same thing with Alonzo in that movie.
And
I believe it's the same thing.
And I do not see that at all. Like, I do not see Alonzo is not Denzel. To me, he didn't make that transition. I see.
No,
Denzel.
but hold up. Just because you say that he's not, that he is or he's not, that doesn't mean it is true. Like, if you're telling me it's a bigger stretch for Pacino to play Tony Montana, we can have that debate.
But I agree.
But we're not about this. Ain't yoga. This ain't about how Bikram the stretch is. It's about the performance.
Wow. And you call me in my references?
No, but I'm
you
talking
just brought up Bikram yoga.
Yeah, but because it's a stretch.
Hold on. That is thoroughly impressive, sir. I am thoroughly impressed, sir.
No, because you're saying, because you believe that Alonso, you're saying Denzel is a gangster from L.A.? He's not that. So you cannot decide that that's not a stretch for him.
Not even my point. Not even my point. My point is, I can't take away the fact that in your mind and in your spirit, Alonso doesn't resonate as Denzel. It's a total separate entity. But I never got that separation. But I think
that's your opinion, and you're allowed to have it.
Right.
But the beauty of a performance is not necessarily how Bikram of the stretch it is. That's not the only measure of a performance. Sometimes yes, but sometimes no. In other words, you could play characters that are very close to yourself, such as Tom Cruise does. He brings every bit of himself into all of his characters, and that's his strength. That's his tool. That's his secret. That's his gift. He brings the same thing to each of his characters, and we buy it as somebody different. Not everybody can do that, but he can.
Right.
And so that's okay. Now I'm not gonna take credit from him because I feel like, well, that's Tom Cruise. Well, that's what I feel. But I'm still entertained. So if I'm entertained, which is the name of the game, you can't go to a restaurant, eat a meal.
Done. Right.
You can't go to a restaurant, eat a meal, finish the meal, and then go get home and be like, I didn't like that meal after you went to the bathroom.
No.
And then you're smiling all the way through.
Hold on. You can, because
if you enjoyed it.
Wait a minute. White people invented Yelp, and that's what they do now. They go home and they go on a computer and go, you know what? Service sucked. I'll tell you something. A little less anchovy next time. I'm not going to recommend this place. I'm not going to recommend it. And the server, the black guy with the big mouth, I'm not even going to look at him next time I go there.
But
really?
But that's disingenuous. Now you're entering into Tom Cruise territory. That's disingenuous.
Wow.
That's totally disingenuous.
So here's the point that I was making. And we were making before we were on air, but
so what's Pacino's grade for Alfred? I just want to know. I'm not trying to interrupt you. I just don't understand. You give Denzel a 7 for Alonzo. So how much you give Pacino for Tony Montana?
Well, Tony Montana is his own entity. He lives on his own.
That's not the question I'm asking.
It's a 10.
So it's a 10. Close. Okay, so that's a 10 and that's a 7. You see, no, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight because it don't make any sense.
First of all, if you look at the performances and you look at the films themselves, Scarface transforms itself 1,000 times over Training Day. The majority,
all the more reason why the performance of Denzel deserves to be his performance dragged the movie up to this conversation.
Okay,
that movie has no business in the same phrase as Scarface.
100%.
That performance has no business in the same universe as Scarface.
So
because the main fact that the arguments are there and they are plausible, it tells you how great the performance was. For you to give it a 7 is it's disrespectful. Completely disrespectful. You're disrespecting. First of all, people don't want to say it. People are shy to say it.
Right.
But Denzel is the GOAT. Seriously, stop it. Don't even bring me. For many years, I was like shy about it. Like, he's top 5. He's top 3 because I want to give deference to Pacino and De Niro and all the other great actors. But at the same time, you know what? I'm tired of being shy. You know he's the GOAT.
No.
Everybody knows he's the GOAT. All the actors know he's the GOAT. Gary Oldman knows he's the GOAT.
Please don't do that.
Everybody knows he's the GOAT.
That's a very good actor you mentioned. Please don't do that.
Yeah, Gary Oldman knows. He knows. They all know.
Listen, Gary Oldman.
They're not shy.
Gary Oldman co-signing you, big co-sign.
So is he the GOAT?
No.
So he's not the GOAT?
No.
So where is he?
He's definitely top 3.
Top 3. So then we're agreeing.
No, he's top 3.
So we're agreeing on something. If you're saying somebody's top 3, we're agreeing on something.
He's GOAT status. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, so it's a debate.
I can sit here and debate it with you, and you might win on certain points, and I might not even be able to win a debate with that. But I think that my number 1 and 2 can get the edge. 1
and 2, but who's 1?
Well, you may not agree, But the sun sets and rises in my life with Paul Newman. He's the reason why I do what I do.
Okay, listen.
Now, wait a minute. That's just a personal choice.
I understand.
And I won't say...
I love Paul Newman. I have no problem with Paul Newman. But I'm trying to explain to you... But I won't call him...
Wait a minute. Cool Hand Luke?
I don't even know what that means.
There you go. Yeah, and that's why you got to go back.
I don't know
and
what
look
that
at
means.
He does.
I don't know what that means, and most people won't even know what is Paul Newman's best performance. It doesn't matter how many times you say no.
We're not talking about most people. We're talking about people in our craft that know our craft.
It doesn't matter. You still have to understand.
You got to say real names.
No, you have to use words that people actually understand.
But I'm not calling. Listen, Paul Newman is my GOAT. I'm not saying he's the GOAT. He's my GOAT. Okay. But I will say,
who is the GOAT?
One or two.
Who?
I would say Robert De Niro's number one, or I would make a case for Brando too, but I won't make that case. But a lot of people don't say this name, and I don't know why they don't say this name.
Please don't say Daniel Day-Lewis.
I'm not going to say Daniel, but there's a very big argument for that.
It.
But nobody says Meryl Streep because she's a woman.
Meryl Streep is a great actor.
But Meryl Streep is very close.
Meryl Streep is a great actor.
I could throw Katharine Hepburn in there for being a GOAT.
No, she's great as well. But now the difference...
I could throw Elizabeth Taylor. How do you not say Elizabeth Taylor's not a GOAT?
Okay, hold on. Now we're going into...
Cat on a Hot Tin Roof? Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
No,
she lost me at Cleopatra.
I don't even know. I don't know any of these.
But when you got to...
I'm the representation of pop culture. I know nothing about these things.
But you see what you're doing?
I don't know nothing about this.
But here's what you're doing. If you're going to call somebody a GOAT, you got to go back to the...
No, hold on. You're allowed. Hold on. You got
to go back to the body of their work.
And listen, if you want to educate these people and let them know, go do some research, I ain't got a problem with you.
Thank you, okay.
But what I'm letting you know is that from a popular culture standpoint, part of being the GOAT... I saw a video. I sent it to you, but you probably don't acknowledge those things. That this dude was walking down the street, and he just said his question was simple. He didn't give them no
background.
He didn't nothing. He just said, "Who's the GOAT?" And much to the chagrin of all the Lebron blind witnesses, okay. Hold on. No. Hold on. Much to the chagrin of the blind witnesses, okay, it was shocking, okay? Of course, MJ got the most. Right. Absolutely. Of course. Kobe got more than LeBron.
Right.
Serena Williams got more than LeBron.
Right.
Tom Brady got more than LeBron.
Right.
Tom Brady might have been number 2. No, that's not true. It was Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps got almost... it was still Jordan.
Right.
It was like maybe 60% of people said Jordan.
Right.
But 30% of them said Michael Phelps.
Right.
And then, the rest is trickle. LeBron only got one, unfortunately. One.
Right.
Do you have a sound for one? Wow. So that's what he got. Guess if you had to name a baseball player that they named, who would you think they named?
I would say Babe Ruth.
Okay, here's my problem with Babe Ruth. First of all,
you said they. So if
but
it's going
it
to be
matter.
they, I would say Babe Ruth.
No, but I'm just saying. No, they meaning all the random people that were being asked.
Right, my goat is.
I was surprised to hear Babe Ruth. First of all, what's this man's name? Like, just for people who don't know, like myself. What does he have a name?
I have no idea. Francis, I think.
Francis.
Let's look it up.
So please look that up. And while you do that, I'm going to ask a very simple question, but I don't want to be perceived as a racist for asking the question.
Right.
Okay. So if Bill Russell doesn't get all the props because of the competition he was playing in.
Greg Herman Ruth Jr.
Okay.
Sorry, George Herman Ruth Jr. Georgie boy.
So his name is George.
Georgie boy.
Okay, so Babe. So I'm sure he's got all these stats, and I know he used to pitch and do everything and all that, so whatever the case may be. But in that time when he was doing all those things, was the league open to brothers or not?
Not even close.
So
Baseball got unsegregated 2 days ago.
Okay, so I have a problem with that. I have a problem with I don't exactly know how to translate his stats. Maybe he was, maybe it was great. I don't know. But I have a hard time believing that you're competing against a certain percentage of the available people that could cause problems for you. And, at the same time, people want to call you the GOAT. So I don't know how to take that. That's like Bill Russell's 11 championships when there was only 8 teams.
100%. Nobody talks about Wayne Gretzky. I don't know why.
Oh no, you know what? That's a perfect example.
Nobody.
Yeah, but that's marketing though. Is it not?
I think it's marketing. It's Americanism, and the fact that there's not. But I don't understand how. First of all, Gretzky. If we're gonna open it up to sports and say who's the GOAT, it's either gonna be Wayne Gretzky or Muhammad Ali for me.
Oh, sorry, Muhammad Ali got a lot of votes too. You got to watch this video.
Yeah.
Can you put the video in when we're doing this thing?
No, next time. Well, we can. Where's the video at?
I mean, whatever. Do your thing.
We'll do it next time.
So Muhammad Ali got a lot of votes too. Muhammad Ali got a lot of votes too, much to Floyd Mayweather's chagrin. That's another guy who doesn't understand.
But when it comes to GOATs, in my mind, in your mind, don't you have to be a needle mover? Don't you have to shape the society around you and kind of transcend sports in a way where you kind of change, like society and the sport that you were in has to be different after you leave it for you to be considered a GOAT. Like what Wayne Gretzky did in hockey, it's always hard to say it'll never be changed, but it's hard to say that it'll ever be done again in hockey.
It will never be done again.
Like somebody will have to come up and be somebody kissed by
God. No, but
himself.
it will never be done again, not because of all the points he scored and all the goals he scored. It will never be done again because he brought hockey into places that were not appreciating hocky.
That's right. So
that were not even.
That's right.
That's beyond that. He invented transcended. That is transcended.
There you
that's
go.
not. I mean, as much as basketball players get a lot of love for being global athletes and loved globally, and yes, it's true. All that is true. I'm not taking nothing away from Jordan or Kobe or even LeBron and all these guys who did great things. But what Wayne did for hockey,
oh my God!
In places where there's no ice, where there's no snow, where like bringing hockey to Los Angeles.
A Canadian team has not won the Stanley Cup since '93. Shout out to the Canadians, but it's because of Wayne Gretzky.
But bringing interest to the sport of hockey in Los Angeles.
That's what I'm saying.
At the height of his powers, dragging that team to the finals.
That lost against Montreal.
But
the thing about it too is we have hockey in Columbus. We have hockey in Carolina. We're talking about states that never even knew what hockey was, and they're thriving now. And let's face it, a lot of people in Canada, I'm one of them, believe it's fixed. The game is fixed right now, and they have to keep American interest and American dollars in the game. That's why they keep winning every year. But and it's harder to compete with the American dollar up here in Canada. But at the end of the day, that's all Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
all. That's all.
Even though I can make a case that Mario Lemieux. I mean, I might not win the case, but I could argue the case that he is just as good, was just as great at hockey as Wayne Gretzky, but not nearly at all as dominant in the sense of crossing over. Mm-hmm. Mario Lemieux, even the name itself, doesn't resonate to people that are outside of the sport.
Right.
And that's the difference, I think, especially when you talk about Muhammad Ali, it resonated for some reason.
Yeah, and if you say Muhammad Ali, to me, the name closest associated to that was Joe Frazier, who I loved as a boxer. So it's Muhammad. So everybody has their hero and their villain. Tom Brady would be Peyton Manning when he was playing.
But that's what I'm saying. But you cannot want to be the GOAT. I think that's the problem with the whole GOAT debate that we love to have, and American society loves to have, particularly. Most of the actual real GOATs never even considered themselves as the GOAT, never even wanted. Yeah, maybe when they were on the court, they would trash talk, but they would never actually say, I am. That's my whole problem with LeBron.
Right.
That's my whole problem with LeBron. You're not. You're not for the fact that you're saying you are. The fact that you're saying you are is telling me you're not. Just right there, you're disqualified. Forget about losing 6 times in the finals. That's enough. Forget about flopping, which GOATs don't do. That's enough. Forget about it. But just the fact that you're asking.
That's the only reason why I can never call him a GOAT?
Yeah, no.
It's the only reason why.
No.
To me, he has every accolade that you would want in somebody being a GOAT, but the flopping is the only Michael Jordan grabbed Horace Grant and wanted to punch him in his mouth and say, don't ever let them see you complaining.
Exactly. No, but it's not that. Even in soccer, a sport that is notoriously known for floppers.
Right.
Messi don't flop.
Right.
Cristiano Ronaldo don't flop.
Pele?
Last time I checked, none of the greats, none of the GOATs. You know, I don't remember Zinedine Zidane. I remember him headbutting this Italian dude. I remember that.
Getting thrown out of the World Cup.
He wasn't flopping. He's like, "What'd you say?" He said, "What'd you say?"
How about my sister? What?
Yeah.
No, we got to go now.
Yeah. He asked him. He said, "No." He said, "You want my jersey?"
Yeah, forget this little gold trophy.
Yeah.
We got to do this.
So GOATs, in reality, GOATs don't flop. That's the problem. That's role players flop.
Right.
You know? And that's, Brad Marchand's type level. They flop. Even though he has skill.
Well, Brad Marchand, he's a different beast because he's one of those agitators.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Agitators flop.
Like Kadri. Kadri doesn't flop, but Kadri.
No, but he's an agitator. He might flop a little bit. He might pretend.
That's part. But that's
what I'm saying.
But I wouldn't consider that flopping. That's part of the game.
No, pretending to be more hurt than you are.
Close the mirror.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
That
original.
was a
No, but that's a pretender. That's like somebody was.
Yeah.
He's an agitator. He's doing whatever. If you have the talent, you need not fill any gaps. There are no gaps.
Right.
The problem with there's no problem. When you're an agitator, it means you have a certain amount of skill. You are good, and you're certainly good at what you do.
You sound like Liam Neeson right now.
You know what I mean? What
I have a particular
set of skills. I will find you, and I will kill you.
I will not flop.
Good luck.
I will.
I told you I'd find you.
Is that you, Granddaddy?
No, the thing is, if there's no gap in the talent, then you don't need to do anything to continue being relevant. When you are Claude Lemieux, although he was skilled, but he obviously wasn't a superstar. Right. In order to be mentioned, in order to impact the game or to impact winning for his team, he's like, yeah, I'm going to use my skill, but I'm also going to use my agitation skills. Almost like a Milan Lucic, like a Marchand. They have skill, but they still agitate.
Right.
I mean, when you're the GOAT, you don't agitate. You don't need to. You don't have time. You're too busy being the GOAT. You're too busy being the GOAT to flop. Jordan didn't ever ask. He never told referees, to try to trick them like Harden did. You know what I mean? He says, no. Watch the game and see what he's doing to me, and I'm going to show you.
Right.
He's educating them. There's even a clip where the guy goes, Michael, I didn't see it, Michael, but I believe you. But I didn't see it,
right.
But I believe you. He's educating you to watch and see what you look. When I come down the lane, they're going to grab my shirt. Watch and see.
Right.
And he's so adept at what he does that he's actually telling the truth. So you end up having credibility, which is what GOATs need. You need to have credibility. You need to be like,
I think the thing about a GOAT is it's undeniable that you're a GOAT. So nobody's going to deny that you're a GOAT. And your peers around you are going to say you're the GOAT. Like
but there's a problem with that. They do, but what if they're too young and then they're impressionable and then they think you're the GOAT?
Well, that happened with Crosby and Ovechkin, right? For years, Ovechkin was so much better than Crosby, but Canadians and the North Americans.
Wait a minute, he was better is he? He's better now.
But I'm saying there was a time where it was Crosby when they first.
Oh, you're saying Crosby was better?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah. Well, perceived as better.
I would say halfway through their careers. After Crosby, poor guy, and his head was scrambled eggs, and he had to sit out for the year. And he came back. I don't think he came back after that year. He sat out and was the same player that he was before that. Mm-hmm. But at that time, he was the best player. And then Ovechkin just over longevity.
Longevity, exactly. Longevity, and some players stand the test of time, and that's important.
Yes.
In any conversation
is a GOAT in any era. Because my favorite argument that I've ever seen, and we consider ourselves part of the new media. I just want to put that out there. But
and what does that mean?
The new media is kind of a way of looking at sports where you're not critiquing people and putting people down. Maybe their performance, maybe what they did in the game. But that whole old orchestrated first take, Skip and Bayless, where they just arbitrarily say random stuff to get clicks and get viewers. And they're really talking out of pocket because they would never talk to people in their face like that. I think the new media doesn't go for that anymore. And we really talk about people that are part of the game. And although we've never been in the game, I think we objectively really want to talk about performances and not critique people.
Speaking of performances, I saw a film called Red Notice. Do you know this film?
I do not know this film.
Okay, so it's the big muscle-bound guy.
Terry Crews?
No, the white muscle-bound guy. Well, is he white?
Is Terry Crews white?
No,
That's
he's
a
not
good
white.
question.
The
That's a
other
good
guy,
question.
no. The other guy. No, the other Musaban guy with the tattoos. I can't believe I'm not blanking out his name. The guy that used to wrestle. And he's not white. He's not black, but is he black?
The Rock?
Yeah. Is he black or is he white?
The Rock.
I don't want
black.
people to think I'm racist. I'm just asking.
He's black. Rocky Johnson's his father.
I know Rocky Johnson. So anyway, regardless of what race he is, well, okay, so
He's black.
okay, so regardless of what race he is,
And Samoan. Samoan.
okay, well, whatever that was, there was none of that flavor in the movie. There was no Samoan flavor.
Is that the one where he went back home to take care of his Samoan people and his cousin Roman Reigns?
I might have fallen asleep by then. I'm talking about the Wonder Woman chick, the other Canadian dude who I'm not a fan of either.
Wait, first of all, before we get any letters or any calls, he didn't mean chick in a negative way.
Did I say chick?
Yes.
I said Wonder Woman.
You said the Wonder Woman chick.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I rolled the tape back.
You said the woman.
Roll the tape. You got to roll the tape back, son.
The Wonder Woman chick. Sorry, yeah, right there. That's why I made the point.
The Wonder Woman, the actress who plays Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Whatever it was a terrible idea. It was a terrible idea. And it's
I don't know the movie, so what was the concept?
Man, I can't even tell you. All I know is I'm watching the movie and I'm like, this is the best they got. This is a disaster. This other guy, the Canadian guy, what's his name? I'm so bad with names.
Michael Ironside.
No, the guy.
My absolute favorite.
No, the
Montreal
guy that
legend.
played.
I love you, Michael Ironside.
The guy that played.
Kim Coates. Let's
the
go
guy-
through them all.
No, the
Kiefer
guy.
Sutherland.
The guy that played. Oh man, I'm gonna get crucified for this. The guy that played Liverpool. No, what's that movie called? Something Pool.
I have no idea.
You know what I'm talking about? Come on, man, you playing? Look at you winking at me. Why you winking at me?
First of all, I'm not winking at anybody.
Oh,
I don't know.
here we go. Pool, Indie Pool, the guy there that plays like a superhero. You don't know what I'm talking about?
I don't watch TV.
Okay, the guy that was in Safe House with Denzel.
Ryan Reynolds.
Terrible. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't. It was just natural. I can't. No, because the thing is, I can't. It's like...
Okay, but a lot of these movies, right? Let's be real. A lot of these movies, and I wish Canadians would do this more. Let's face it, they're money traps, right? Are you really making art? Are you really making money? And I think until Canadians, this is a good point to make about Canadians. Until Canadians get the point that Hollywood is ran by lawyers in New York.
But why Canadians?
Because Canadians make art and not money. And we need to start financing
Based
money.
on what?
Based on the fact that if you and I wanted to be an actor in Canada, we would never eat for 20 years because we are not going to end up on Anna Green
But
Gables.
do you think... Why? First of all, it's called Anne with an E. And I actually read for a role in that series.
Yeah, exactly. And
But
please
here's
tell
my
me,
point. Hold on.
There's
hold on.
no way you had
Hold on.
shoes on in that
Hold on.
series. There's
Hold on.
no ways you weren't running for your freedom.
Hold on.
Stop.
Do you think the real question is, if you're making a crappy movie, do you know that it's crappy when you're making it?
I don't know if you. As an artist,
If somebody offers you a role, okay? If somebody offers you a role right now.
I'm taking.
No, hold up. If somebody offers you a role right now and you know
it's hard out here. It's hard out here.
No, but you know, if you know it's crappy, you'll still take it, but you say you know it's crappy. Like at the stage we're at, we're gonna have to accept whatever comes.
Well, it's hard for us as
Right
black
or wrong?
we have to. It's hard for us as black actors. Because
So, but do you
the
know
people
it's
that
crappy?
Yes. When you sit down and you're looking at an audition piece and you're looking at the rating and you know it's a white person rating for you.
No, don't do that. See, now what's the come on, B?
But we're not judging. I'm not making a judgment.
What are you saying?
It's not. Wait, I'm not making a judgment on white people.
So
I'm just saying you could tell it's not in your.
It doesn't matter if it was. It doesn't matter who wrote it.
Okay.
We're saying it's crappy.
Whoever the bad writer is.
No, even if it doesn't matter, but you think it's crappy.
Whatever the bad rating is.
Do you know it's crappy?
Yes, you do.
And the reason you do it is for financial reasons. Because if you didn't have to do it, you wouldn't do it.
No.
Would you do something that's crappy? If I tried to introduce you to my cousin who was below a 7, you would be like, that. I'm not
No,
interested.
I'd find a way to make it work. Now listen, they're doing a lot of great things with alcohol. Here's the thing, I'm gonna take back what I just said 2 minutes ago about the white thing, but
But it doesn't matter the color. The point is,
But listen, we'll strictly put it on paper. It's my job as an artist to make that me. And if I make it mine, it's not crappy anymore because I'll make it good.
okay, this is the part where I don't know what the hell you just said. I don't know what you meant, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who are also very confused. If you have something crappy, do you know it's crappy? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so then that means that The Rock knows that movie was crappy. He knows that.
No.
Does he know that?
No.
He doesn't know.
I think he knows his film is going to be a financial success because he's produced
But
it.
do you think he cares that if it's crappy or not?
I don't know what people are
No,
motivated
but do you
by.
think he cares?
No.
If you could talk to him right now, would you? If you could talk to him right now, would you have the nerve to ask him if he knows that movie was crappy?
No, because that would never be my question. But my question
What would be your question?
My question is, did you know that movie was going to make money? And I think that's why he did it. Not doing anything.
But you think they don't care about entertaining us?
I think they do, 100%. And I think what he thought he was doing was going to be entertaining. He was making a message about his people and trying to get that message out. But at the same time, too, you have to look at, and listen, bless their hearts, man. Kevin Hart, The Rock. I'm talking about any actors that produce their own thing.
I saw a Kevin Hart movie also that was a complete disaster as well.
But here's here's why I will not say.
And I read for that one too.
But here's why I will not say disaster. I will not say disaster because what I love about them, and exactly for me being a producer, I mean,
what does that even mean?
I mean, what it means
that has
is,
nothing to do with this conversation.
But I'll tell you why. It's exactly what this conversation.
If somebody's asking what it has to do with this conversation,
exactly
what would you say?
Because once you have enough money and finance to do the message that you want to do, I do not think you're saying you're going to put out a crappy thing. I think it's a passion project. It's a love project.
Yeah, but are you allowed? Is it out of bounds to say something's crappy if it's crappy?
No, it's not out of
bounds.
As
a consumer.
But it's not out of
as bounds. A consumer, as a fan.
It's not out of bounds to have your own opinion.
Because you gave Alonso a 7.
Wait a minute.
But you gave him a 7.
I was asked a question.
You gave him a 7.
Wait, I didn't.
That's borderline crappy.
I did not come out and give an opinion.
That's borderline crappy.
I do not believe in judging art or artists. I don't.
So if I call Russell Westbrook.
Oh, and he punches you in your face? Is he right? Yeah.
He ain't punching nobody. So listen. But my question is it in bounds or out of bounds?
I think it's in bounds if it's done respectfully. And okay, what is the term that we have? Positive? No, criticism. Constructive criticism. Thank you.
But how can it be constructive when you're calling the man? His name is Westbrook, and people call him Magic Johnson. I saw a clip the other day. I saw a clip the other day.
Mad disrespectful.
Hold on. I saw a clip the other day
when
Magic Johnson. Listen, what are these labels? What does that even mean? Old media. What does that mean? What's old media?
Old media is people that talk reckless because nobody's going to punch them in the mouth for what they say.
No, but
and they think they can talk about people in the street. Westbrook is mad disrespectful, and nobody would walk up to him and say it to his face because he would probably punch you in your mouth. And that's old media.
No, but hold on. Okay, so... Okay.
You don't have a right to talk about the man.
Hold on.
You can talk about his game.
Hold on. But, okay, don't call him Westbrook, just say he can't shoot.
Thank you.
Okay, so he can't shoot.
Thank you.
So is it fair to say that Westbrook is a terrible three-point shooter? Is that fair to say?
I don't know.
Do you believe that I could hit more threes than Russell Westbrook?
You? No.
Yeah.
I don't.
You don't believe so?
I have a hard time halfway upstairs.
No, just a shot.
I got 2 of them.
Just a shot.
No, I don't. No.
If I guarantee you.
There's no way.
I guarantee you, if I shoot 100 threes, okay, I'll hit more threes than Russell Westbrook. I guarantee.
In a game.
Okay, so the game part is different because I can't run. So that's a bit of a that might be a bit of a problem. But if all I have to do is have somebody feed me 100 balls,
right?
100 basketballs, I don't want to get in trouble here.
You're going to get more than
100 yeah, absolutely. Well, that depends on how good he shoots in practice. Because sometimes these guys shoot amazing in practice and they can't do it in the game. Now that's another ball game. So I don't know. I never saw him shoot in practice because apparently these guys don't miss in practice. Did I ever tell you the story about I did a TV show in Vancouver called The Sentinel?
I remember The Sentinel.
And Mitch Richmond was doing an episode The Sentinel.
Very nice.
And there was a bunch of other guys too, like Malik Sealy. There was a bunch of basketball guys, and so especially back then, I used to play basketball a little bit, and so we're talking 20 years ago. So 20 years ago,
20 years ago, I did another basketball movie too. I'm 4'2" naturally, and they put me in as a basketball player, top point guard. And thank you.
I'm sorry, I thought your sport was tennis.
Oh, I love tennis.
Stop interrupting me. So, so anyway, 20
on paper, should I be? On paper, is it a crappy movie? If you make me a point guard in a movie,
it's a disaster. So basically, 20 years ago, I was only 10 years removed from actually playing good basketball. So
Right.
I still had some remnants of skill.
Right.
And I'm tall. So, during lunch hour, those guys are playing, and I walk up to Mitch, and I'm like, yo, let's play a little one-on-one. But Mitch Richmond never saw me coming, right? So he was like, yeah, all right, cool. So he's like, what's your name? I was like, Benz. He was like, all right, cool. So we start playing. I'm up huge, bro. I'm up like seven. Dude, the guy looked at me, and it's almost like he said, what's the score? I said 7-3. He said, all right, I'm about to turn that Benz into a Volkswagen.
He didn't say that.
Yeah, he said it. He said, I'm about to turn that Benz into a Volkswagen.
He said that to your face?
Straight to my face.
What happened to your blood level when you said that?
My blood level, I didn't feel nothing. I just didn't believe it. Because in my mind, I'm like, I'm not really feeling it.
I got this.
I'm not. Obviously, I don't think I'm better than Mitch Richmond.
So you thought it was Mitch Portman?
Obviously, I didn't think I was better than Mitch Richmond.
Well, you must have.
But I didn't think he would actually pull out the real game. I thought he would just laugh it off.
So let me ask you a question. What did the real game look like?
The real game was I didn't score another point. That was the real game. I don't know if he'd remember this, but he said that he looked at me. He said, he said, hold up. Because the thing is, I'm left-handed.
Right.
No, I'm ambidextrous, but I'm also left-handed. So at the
Right.
same time, he didn't know where I was going to come from. So I ended up scoop. So by the time he realized what I was doing, he's like, hold up, what's the score? I said 7-3. He's like, all right, I'm turning that Benz into a Volkswagen. The final score was 21-7. Now I must say that endurance did play a part in this thing.
Your legs got heavy?
It was not good. It was not good. Of course it wasn't good. Now, listen, if we played a 3, I could hurt some people.
Right.
If we played a 3.
Played a 3.
Just 3. Just one basket, played a
Right.
3.
No,
I can hurt some people.
No deuce. No deuce.
I can hurt some people.
But let me ask you a question. What is it like seeing up close and personal, because obviously you did, the skill of a professional athlete at a high level?
That's the thing. That's why I'm scared. I'm reluctant to say I would hit more threes than Russell Westbrook
But that's
in
what I'm
practice.
saying.
I'm reluctant to say it because I remember those guys.
That's what I'm saying.
They would shoot from all over the court and not miss.
That's what I'm saying. And
what Steph Curry actually does, imagine what he does in practice.
But that's what I'm saying.
And so,
And the point that I was making when JJ Redick and Mad Dog went at it, and Mad Dog brought up Bob Cousy, like that's his frame of reference. And I understand we all know people that are in our respective generations and people that we grew up watching and people that we know. But if you're gonna bring up Bob Cousy in an argument, like you're
well, first of all, Bob Cousy. I'm not sure I've ever seen him play, so I don't know. I know the name. I don't know what he's done.
I think Bob Cousy was the last generation of basketball players that shot three throws underhanded in between your legs.
No, hold on. I think Pistol Pete Maravich, I believe, I wouldn't accept that slander if it was him. Because the stories I've heard
right
about Pistol Pete are different.
Right.
It seems like he was shooting from far.
Right.
I believe he averaged.
He kind of was the first 3-point shooter without a line.
Well, exactly. I think he was shooting. I think he was averaging in college. I don't know. I don't exactly know the number. We can look it up. But I believe he was averaging a lot of points in college and continued that in the pros and was shooting from any distance. So I can't really say. It's hard to judge how good those guys were at that time.
It is like JJ Redick said, like they were playing against plumbers and firemen.
No, I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
I can't believe you repeated that. I don't.
You have to because it's true.
Stop.
Can I say something?
You're like Stephen A. Smith.
No, I'm not.
You're unwatchable.
I'm not.
You're unlistenable. Why would you say that? Why would you repeat that?
Don't ever compare me to him again.
Why would you repeat
Don't
that?
ever compare
No, I
me
did
to
it on
him
purpose
again.
because I want to get a rise out of you.
No, don't do that.
Why did you repeat that,
Don't do
though?
that,
Why
man.
would you repeat such
Don't do that.
slander?
And no reason to again.
Okay, so why would you do that?
because it's actually true. Do you understand that the especially when it comes to the NBA, the physique, the talent level changed again with the GOAT, Michael Jordan. Because Michael Jordan was so tired of getting beat up by the Pistons that he was the first professional athlete at that level to get into the gym.
Can't say first.
He was
obviously Will Chamberlain.
Stop.
Obviously, Will Chamberlain was in the gym.
Stop.
Obviously.
Stop.
Obviously, Bill Russell was in the gym.
I'm talking about staying in the gym to the point where you got a personal trainer where you're focused on your body, you're focused on your. He invented it. Michael Jordan invented that because after that. Look at the league now.
But what does it have to do with Bob Cousy?
Hold on.
What does it have to do with Bob Cousy?
Hold on. Look at the league now. You cannot compete unless you do that.
But what does it have to do with Bob Cousy?
What it has to do with Bob Cousy is the athlete of that generation had nothing to do with the athlete of right now. They didn't like sports science didn't start into the 80s. So he is playing.
Are you agreeing with JJ Redick or disagreeing?
1,000,000%.
So what was his point? His point is
you can't compare the level of athlete and the level of athlete today because the science behind both athletes is not it's the same thing with baseball. I don't look at any baseball record pre-integration because it's a fact that the Negro Leagues, the only reason why the Negro Leagues and black players weren't introduced into Major League Baseball is baseball probably wouldn't exist today.
Okay, so does that mean that Jack Nicklaus's 18 majors are not as valuable as Tiger Woods' 15?
They're a 1,000,000% as valuable. Because at the end of the day, he was playing with less science on the course in terms of the club, in terms of the ball. So, but he was playing the same, maybe a bit less distance.
So Margaret Court, it was okay. So where's Margaret Court compared to Serena?
She doesn't. Serena's the greatest athlete that has maybe ever existed. And Margaret Court would probably lose 6-love to Serena.
In her prime?
In her prime. And Serena may have to play left-handed.
In her prime.
She may have to play left-handed.
I've never seen Margaret Court play, but let's bring it to someone else. What would Serena do to Chris Everett Lloyd in her prime?
Oh, Chrissy? Oh, Chrissy. And Chrissy has said it. I couldn't do anything with that.
No, don't say what she said because she's gonna not gonna.
I don't think any tennis player in any era can do Serena in her prime. Martina Navratilova, Steffi Graf, Martina Hingis, Monica Seles, Gabrielle Sabatini. How you doing, bro?
She got nothing to do with this conversation.
She's
got nothing to do with this
conversation.
Okay, why don't you mention Anna Kournikova then, if that's the case?
No, that's their
I want you Anna Ivanovic.
No, that's their side.
No, but I mean, yes.
No, let them have that. How you doing, Gabrielle? ¿Qué pasa, Raul? Is that good?
What's the sound of you sucking up to Gabriella Sabatini? No, what's the real sound of you sucking up to Gabriella Sabatini?
I'm not going to say it. Now listen, I don't think any woman tennis player in her prime touches Serena in her prime.
So you don't think Martina Navratilova can grab a set from Serena in her prime?
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, over the course of I just think there's too much power with Serena in her prime. The serve is too powerful. The ground strokes are too powerful. The shot selections, no, I don't think anybody. And I think they kind of acknowledge that.
So you don't think Andre Agassi takes a set from Federer in his prime?
Of course he does. He did. I mean, they played together.
I'm not sure they did.
Yeah, don't forget it was.
Even if you say yes with more confidence,
they did.
Doesn't make it real.
Wait a minute, Agassi played longer than Sampras, and it was Sampras.
We're not talking about Sampras. We're talking about Federer.
Here's my point.
Okay.
Agassi played longer than Sampras. It was Sampras. It was Federer that broke Sampras's Wimbledon record. I'm a fan. So and Agassi won a major. Agassi won a French during Federer's time. So yeah, they played together. And so Agassi, Agassi,
let the record state that I'm not entirely sure that what you just said is true. But that being said,
we're gonna look it up because I'm tired of you arbitrarily trying to sit down in my grill piece and just say
all I'm saying is I'm not sure.
But
I'm not sure. I don't have any memory of Agassi ever playing Federer. I'm not sure he did.
I'm gonna make you sure.
I remember Federer won.
Federer, Andre Agassi extended highlights. Roger Federer, Andre Agassi in 5-set thriller. U.S. Open. I don't know where to find it. Head to head.
So what's your point?
For versus Agassi.
So what's your point?
Federer's 8-2 against him. I don't know where I'd find that stat.
Okay, so who wouldn't beat who in whose prime?
And we're talking prime, like if you're in your prime. Tennis is debatable because everybody. I don't think male tennis has advanced that much that the differences are that big. I don't think anybody beats Borg. Borg can beat them all. That's my boy right there. I think McEnroe can beat anybody.
We're talking facts over feelings.
No, I know. Okay, facts over
Shout out to Chris Broussard. Facts
over feelings. Okay, facts over feelings. I think everybody has a shot to beat everybody in tennis.
No, that's not what we're talking
about. Wait a minute,
that's not the conversation.
Wait a minute, in their prime.
That's not the conversation.
Wait a minute, Agassi.
Your style of play counts.
Okay, Borg can beat anybody in his prime. McEnroe can beat anybody in his prime. Connors can beat anybody.
I love McEnroe. I do not see McEnroe taking a set from Federer. I just don't see it.
Oh, for sure.
I don't see it.
Well, they played together too. I'm not going to say they haven't. They played together too. But
no, but I'm saying prime McEnroe and prime Federer. I don't think he takes a set. I think he goes down 6-3, 6-3, 6-1. I don't think because the reason why is the serve. It's the serve. The serve is what the serve. You can't discount the power of the serve, what it does to the point and to the actual games.
I agree with you.
Sampras basically said, okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm never going to lose my serve.
Yeah.
You do what you want with your serve, and if you meet me in the tiebreaker, that's what's going to happen.
We actually have a tennis fan here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy about that. He bothers me about me playing my sport, but he knows everything about the sport.
No, because the thing is...
But that's the only thing that transcended the game of tennis, right, is the serve.
The serve. That's why Serena is untouchable, because in her prime...
Nobody returns her.
In her prime, I'm talking about even 3 years ago.
Yeah, and she's breaking elbows.
She wasn't... Her serve was unreturnable.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is why I don't see those other people beating her. The problem is Navratilova... I don't know.
But wait a minute. No,
Navratilova, I don't know.
But it's not just Serena's serve that it's her power. Like they have nothing to give back there.
No, but once the ground strokes, once the ground strokes
wait a minute. Navratilova and Christopher Lloyd, bless their hearts.
No, you
bless
can't
their
do it
hearts.
like that. You can't do it like
They're
that.
walking around at a good 101. 90 pounds.
No, not Navratilova.
Serena is walking on the court as The Rock.
I've actually met Serena.
As The Rock.
I've actually met Serena.
Now,
I met Serena at the Get Rich or Die Trying premiere.
Right.
Okay. I was, as they say in French, très bien accompagné that night. And when I saw Serena, what I thought I saw was two basketballs walking away from me. That's what I thought I saw. So what happened was I raised my hand like a fan. We're like, look, it's Serena. And the person I was with was like, put your hand down, fool.
Wow.
Yeah,
it was that serious.
It was that serious. And she was not.
Was she from a certain part of Canada, by the way?
She was
on the East Coast?
Listen,
near water?
We're not going to talk about it. Serena, contrary to what a lot of haters might think, was not at all this menacing, the size. It wasn't at all what you think. Yes, of course, her thighs and her, gluteus was very Maximus. Very Maximus. What's the sound for us hitting the same word at the same time? Very Maximus. But 5'10", 5'9", 5'9".
That's big for a woman, though.
No, but 5'9" and just, not so overtly muscular.
But Chris Evert and Navratilova are 5'4", right?
I don't know how tall
Navratilova.
They're 5'4". Navratilova's tall.
They're 5'4".
She can't be 5'4". Look it up. So anyway, the point of the matter is, you're saying nobody would have taken a set from Serena. I disagree, because Justine Henin took many sets from Serena, and she was only 5. Well, what was she? So I can't really say, nobody would have taken a set from her. But yes, I agree. I agree with you that she's the GOAT. Did I mention how many votes she got? They just asked who's the GOAT, and her name came up.
Really?
And this is where the hypocrisy comes in, because before Serena, although I love Steffi Graf, I don't ever remember thinking anything.
Of Steffi Graf?
No, I don't remember thinking, oh my God, she's the GOAT. I don't remember that.
Oh yeah.
No. Even if you say it doesn't make it true. I don't recall it being presented in that manner. I recall she won a lot. I recall that she was very good. I recall
5'6".
There you go. I recall that she retired relatively young-ish, right? She didn't retire like 38 or something like that. She retired.
No. Steffi Graf is the last woman, and Serena hasn't even done it, which is crazy.
Oh no, this slam doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything.
What are you
Golden
talking about?
Slam doesn't mean nothing.
What are you talking about?
It don't mean nothing.
It means wait a minute. It means everything because it means no woman in your sport could touch you, like at all.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
What are you
matter.
talking
It doesn't
about?
matter.
Okay, you're not making sense
No,
right now, B.
it's like
You're
you're
not
talking
making
about the
sense right now.
Golden Slam, baby, babu. It doesn't matter.
No. Winning a Grand Slam in your sport matters.
So
a
Serena
million
did it?
%. No, she didn't.
What are you talking about?
No.
She not only did it, she did it.
Serena has not won a Grand Slam in 1 year, 1 calendar year.
Those are semantics.
They're not semantics. They're
It's
true.
semantics. If you win 4 Grand Slams in a row,
Do you know how good you
hold
are?
on. If you win 4 Grand Slams in a row, but they're
Federer
not,
hasn't done it. Nadal
can
hasn't
I
done it.
finish my point? If you win, Djokovic has done it.
No,
If
he
you-
hasn't.
Yes, he has. Okay, so
No,
if
he's
you
not.
win, hold on. If you win 4 Grand Slams in a row, but they're not in the same calendar year, you still won 4 Grand Slams in a row. It's not more valuable because they're in the same calendar year. That's just media. That's whatever you call it. That's old media horse manure. That doesn't make sense.
It makes complete
If I win the U.S. Open, if my run starts at the U.S. Open and it ends at Wimbledon, it's still 4 slams in a row. It doesn't matter the fact of it's in a different year. It's not harder to do it in the same year as it is to do it in 4 slams in a row. It's still the same distance between each slam.
Okay, I'm going to say something. The last player to have done it in the modern era is Steffi Graf.
You're talking about the golden slam with the gold medal.
No, I'm talking about winning 4 Grand Slams. That's how hard it is in tennis. No player has won it since she has.
Serena's done it twice.
No, she hasn't.
Okay.
Serena's won four straight, but not in the same calendar year.
Okay, so explain to me. I'm an alien. I'm from outer space.
Okay,
I want you. No, hold on. I'm from outer space. I want you to explain to me why is it harder to win if your run starts at the Australian Open,
Right.
okay, and ends at the U.S. Open, okay? So you have the Australian, the French, Wimbledon, and then the U.S. Open.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay, thank you. And then, so if my run starts at the French Open, right? So if Nadal starts at the French Open and wins the French, Wimbledon, U.S., and then the Australian Open, how is that not the same degree of difficulty?
Okay.
I want you to explain that to me. Make it make sense, please.
Wait a minute. It is.
Because if you talk about new media, make it make sense.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm saying you're right. It is. What I'm saying is the thing about tennis that's recognized isn't the fact that you've won 4 in a row. Wait a minute. Isn't the fact that you've won 4 in a row. It's the fact that you've won 4 in a row in the same calendar year.
What's the difference?
On paper, nothing.
Okay.
But wait a minute. On paper, nothing. But for that year to go down in history as the greatest player in that year means everything.
Is it harder?
1,000%.
Why?
Because you have the pressure. I think after the first 2, after the Australian and then French, the pressure to close out on the biggest 2 tournaments. Because I think the greatest tournament of them all is Wimbledon, but I think the hardest of them all is the U.S.
Why?
Because of the crowd, because of the conditions. It's colder in August. You got wind. You got the crowd. You got the New York. It's probably the hardest to win for me. I mean, given the fact that not a lot of people can win on clay, I get that. Australia is like a vacation, but I think Wimbledon with its prestige.
Australia's whatever. Next.
I'm just saying.
How's it like a vacation?
Because, hi Mike. You want to say Joey?
That has
Are you
nothing-
serious?
That has nothing to do with it.
Hi Mike.
It's just hard to win. Okay, so
No.
listen, the argument that you're making, it doesn't make any sense. Don't repeat what the old. If you want to be new media, don't repeat what old media has done.
Wait a minute, I'm not-
All they're doing is
What are you
finding. It's no difference if you win 4 in a row or if you win 4 in a row in the same calendar year. It's the same degree of difficulty.
I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm saying it does mean something to win it in the same calendar year. It does. It means everything.
Is it harder?
Yes.
Why? How is it harder?
Because of the pressure.
How is it's the same pressure?
No,
if you
no,
got
it's
2
not.
under your belt and you got to win the next 2, that's still pressure.
If you have 2 under your belt and you're going for the 3rd and you get that 3rd and you have to finish up on that 4th is the most pressure you're ever going to get in your life. In your life, in the sport.
Right, but Outside of external pressure, it's all fabricated. It's fabricated old media pressure.
No,
horse
it's not.
manure.
No, it's not.
It's just horse manure.
No, it means something. It means something. For you to be the best in that
At the end of the day, Nadal's got 22, Djokovic got 21, Federer's got 20. No one cares about this all fabricated stuff. No one cares. Serena's got 23. So that's it. It doesn't matter if they call it Serena Slam or if they call it Steffi Graf this, blah 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 B. It don't mean nothing. It's all the same.
We're gonna have a talk about that GOAT status in a second because it's crazy how Serena has more than all of them, and still has a chance to,
Serena's not gonna win another major.
I know.
After what I saw, I'm a Serena fan, but I mean she ain't gonna win another major.
But I know. But here's the problem that I have with it though. Don't we need her to have that one more just to say?
No, because then it's going to be she tied Margaret Court, but she's tied. Down. No. Margaret Court's got 24. Serena's got 23. But the problem with Margaret Court's 24 is I have no idea who she was playing. Yeah. It seems to me there might have been 6 people playing. I don't know. I don't check that out. But I'm pretty sure there was nobody. I don't want to say that there was no competition. But I'm basically saying I have zero time for those majors. Those majors don't count to me. Those majors, they don't count. Now, I don't want to discount people's legacies. She's allowed to have her legacy. She'll have her 24. But there's a reason why they call it the open era, the this era. They're always trying to find a way, a mitigating factor to discredit or to add more credit over here and over there, right? To me, it's like, the greatest player in the last 50 years because we can't understand what's 100 points. 100 points of Will Chamberlain. If you're so good that you scored 100 points in a game.
Didn't Lisa Leslie do that as well? And nobody talks about it?
I don't think Lisa Leslie did. Cheryl Miller? I don't know. I think
it was Lisa Leslie, yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember. In the WNBA?
Like in college or something.
I think Cheryl Miller would have done it. Would have been the one that would have done it.
No, I think it would have been Lisa Leslie because she had the height. She was
either way, if you scored 100 points in a game, which is undeniable, and you were that dominant, then you should have been able. I mean, he averaged 50 points for a season. To Will Chamberlain, we don't really know what to do with his stats. We don't really know what they mean. We're not sure. But what we do know is that he lost 4 times in the finals.
Right.
That we know. And if you lost 4 times, that's why you can't run. If it's facts over feelings, you can't run You can't run from the losses. That's why LeBron's 6 losses are always going to keep him off the GOAT status for me. It's going to keep him off the Mount Rushmore for me. Maybe not for the old media because they need LeBron, because they have no imagination to have another subject to say.
Lisa Leslie scored 101 points in a game.
Oh, really? And in WNBA game?
101 points.
WNBA?
No, college game.
Oh, man. See? You see what I'm saying? So we should know that.
Yeah.
We should have known that. I should not have not known that.
I knew it.
No, but you knew it, but you weren't sure.
Guru.
You weren't sure.
Guru.
Board certified, whatever. I have no time for that.
Hey, talk to the people.
Listen,
talk to the people.
Power to the people.
Now let's go back to the beginning. Are you telling me that the Oscar that Denzel won for Training Day is more certified than the Oscar he won for Glory? When everybody is always going to remember for the rest of their life that one tear trickling down his eye in Glory.
No, I can't say that. I can't say that. I can't say that because I can't compare Oscars. Because first of all, I can't compare Oscars. Number one. Like Denzel said, where do you keep your Oscars? He goes, I keep them side by side. Yeah. He goes, they're just side by side. So I don't compare. So if he don't compare, I'm not comparing them. I don't compare. But what I will say, is there are certain people that have ruined the Oscars, and it will never be the same.
And we are going to talk about that on our next show. Ladies and gentlemen, alongside the original LeBron hater, and keep in mind, at some point during our podcast, it's always going to go back to LeBron. And it's your boy here, your board certified fantasy football, all sports, and topic guru. But I'll just say Daryl for now. It is Brothers Talk Ball. It is how we'll do it. We will see you next time.